Hi, I'm Ken Howard, and welcome to the Gay Therapy LA podcast. Before we do today's episode, I'd like to just remind folks to please leave a rating or a review for this podcast, or try to share it with your friends, because I'm trying to spread the word and help and reach as many people as possible with this. So if you would be so kind to do that, I'd really appreciate it. And now today's episode. Mental health during COVID-19, next to normal. Those who know me well know that I have a lifelong obsession with Broadway musicals, recently having completed writing the book, music and lyrics for a musical of my own, On the Boulevard, about my own very home in West Hollywood, California, and it's a modern retelling of the classic Pygmalion tale that My Fair Lady was made from, about a Cinderella-like transformation with two gay male lead characters. And sure, being a show queen is a gay stereotype, but as a gay men specialist, psychotherapist, and coach for 28 years now, I'm focused on a lot of things associated with gay men, especially their mental health. I had a mentor early in my career, the late Michael Chernoff, LCSW, a gay men specialist therapist for decades in New York, who once said, "There is a show tune for every occasion." He was a musicals fan too, and like me, a professor of social work and author. I used to read his articles and watch him speak at a conference and ask, can I be you when I grew up? I was already about 30. But I'm proud to say that I think I have, trying hard to carry on his legacy and be of service to the LGBT community that I care about very deeply. And as we all endure this current global coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, I find that there's a show tune about that, with clues in it about how gay men and others can serve their mental health while other professionals attend to our collective physical health. In 2009, Alice Ripley won the Tony Award for Best Lead Actress in a Musical for the Pulitzer Prize-winning musical Next to Normal, about a woman with bipolar disorder and her family. A musical about psychiatric illness, that's kind of my whole life in a nutshell right there. And as we all adjust to life under stay-at-home conditions all over the world, makeshift masks and all, in an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19, that phrase, next to normal, comes to mind as a theme or mantra, or even a call to arms. In a previous podcast, I talked about the mental health aspects of working from home for gay men, taking tips on working from home from a variety of readily available websites and putting my spin on them from both a mental health and gay male point of view. Again, that's kind of my life in a nutshell right there. But while the adjustment to working from home isn't possible, sadly, for so many types of jobs, it can work for certain white-collar workers in many different kinds of companies or organizations or institutions. And for those who can't work from home or have lost their jobs, the sometimes fiery social worker, socialist activist in me tries to advocate for wage replacement, rent forbearance, and other public assistance that literally helps keep people alive. And it's because COVID-19 affects all of us the world over, physically, socially, emotionally, and economically, that we need to attend to our individual and collective mental health. But how? In my searching my mind for the how, I reflect on the recent sessions I've had with my clients in my practice, which is both for psychotherapy as such in California, where I'm licensed, as well as the life, career, relationship coaching I provide to gay men in other states or countries, who are sometimes in rural areas where a gay men specialist therapist or coach is nowhere near to be found. With each local psychotherapy client, though, and with each session, I notice how the person I was used to seeing in my office in 3 dimensions, seeing what they wore, what they carried with them into the office, and every detail of their facial expressions, not in pixels on a device screen, like I do now, but in real life. I realized that seeing them online through webcam platforms is so much like the work we've been doing in session week by week in person with the same cast of characters discuss and assessing progress on various treatment goals with the same sound and cadence of their voice. It wasn't normal office work lately, being online, but it's still productive. It wasn't work as normal, but it was something next to normal in a way to conduct psychotherapy sessions. And isn't that what we're all doing? My clients are having therapy, but in a different way. I'm enjoying some of my favorite foods, but not at the restaurant with the cute waiters and the jovial social atmosphere, but in takeout. I sometimes go to my office nearby my home to get extra elbow room and peace and quiet and work from various webcam platforms there with some nice equipment like an external mic and screen. But the usual Los Angeles bumper-to-bumper traffic between here and there is gone. It's not my normal commute, but it's the same route that I take. So it's next to normal. My husband and I hold hands as we watch a movie on Netflix or Blu-ray at home, but it's not like normal, going to the ArcLight Cinemas complex in Hollywood or the Sunset 5 complex in West Hollywood like normal, but I make homemade popcorn with my increasingly inventive spice combinations and vegan butter. It's next to normal. It's this next to normal mindset that I think will see us through. Because this pandemic and its self-quarantine, lockdown-like conditions are not going away anytime soon. Certainly not soon enough, right? I was telling clients this week that sometimes when I travel, which is not that often even under normal conditions, if I stay someplace for 1 or 2 nights, I live out of my suitcase, and I don't bother to unpack. But if I stay somewhere for a week or so, I might really settle in, unpack the suitcase, make a place my home away from home for a while, take off my jacket and stay a while. That's what we're all doing now. This is not a brief, temporary, hold your breath for a second thing and it'll be over in a second. It's what I call a temporary new normal. So we each need to ask ourselves, what is our own temporary new normal? What is the new way we work? What is the new way we eat? What is the new way we exercise? What is the new way that we relate to our home space? What is the new way we relate to coworkers and friends and family and neighbors and the local community? For so many gay men, especially in urban centers like Los Angeles or West Hollywood where I am, but also others nationwide or worldwide we all know, like the Castro or Hell's Kitchen, Buckhead, South Beach, DuPont Circle, Halstead, Vauxhall, the Marais, where so many things we took for granted are gone. Going to the gym, going to the movies, going to a bar, dancing at a club, hooking up, game night, bathhouses, house parties, birthday parties, drag shows, 12-step meetings, support groups, gay chorus rehearsal, theater shows, beach days, pride celebration, leather contests, art house movie screenings, fundraisers. There's just too many to list that embody gay life for not all, but certainly many. These would be things that we would do in normal times, but what's next to normal that we can do instead? For the past couple of weeks, I've had Saturday night happy hour on Zoom with several other gay male couples and some straight ally friends, and I've read about how some clubs, gay clubs, are starting to have virtual club nights with a DJ and performances on camera, and you can tip your favorite go-go boy just using Venmo. One of my clients talked this week about playing an online game called Bad People, which sounds hysterically funny, with his usual gamer friends. Another had poker night, but online, next to their normal poker night. Another friend gave an online update of city business after attending his usual morning 12-step meeting online. And Facebook and Instagram are annoyingly, ubiquitously full of ads for elastic bands and push-up handles and adjustable dumbbell sets for home workouts. So each of us is left to take how our lives are right now and translate them as if we were translating a document from one language to another. What is next to normal for us as individuals? What do we need? How can we creatively translate the way we used to live, love, and work for the self-quarantine age? For some things, there are no substitutes for the list above of social activities, of recreational things, and that's not normal. For those, we have to acknowledge the grief and mourning process for things we've lost and not knowing exactly when they will return. And that's perhaps the hardest part. If we know it's temporary, but we don't know for how long, well, that can feel a whole lot like permanent. Therapists know that dealing with grief and bereavement is a paradox. The more we try to suppress or ignore it, the more it will affect our functioning. Ironically, the more we acknowledge, validate, and process through the grief and loss, the faster we will heal and arrive at a new way of functioning after the loss. For those losses, we need support, even just the simple validation that, yes, indeed, this sucks. And for everyone who has lost recreation, a livelihood, a loved one, or even their lives. But for the majority, even those of us who have had or even will have COVID-19, the odds are thankfully well in our favor that we will survive, sometimes even asymptomatically. I now know of 5 of my current gay male clients in my practice, between about the ages of 30 to 45, who have been tested. They had access to testing somehow, and they've recovered. Or they test positive for it, but they never had symptoms. One client was very ill but recovered and is now the online workaholic. I'm teasing you, Jay. You know who you are. That he always was. Maybe my clients who are used to jet-setting around the country or even the world for work are not racking up frequent flyer miles as normal, but their next to normal career still gets plenty of impressive work done online. Darwin said it was not the strongest of the species who survive over the history of evolution, but the ones with the best ability to adapt. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. The only way out is through. This too shall pass. And as cliché, almost glib, as these phrases can sound, social workers and other therapist coaches like me invoke them not to deny or invalidate real loss and suffering, but to encourage a healthy, adaptive coping. Yes, sure, it sucks that we are not normal now, but maybe with ingenuity, creativity, and the perseverance gay men know all about, especially those of us who lived through the AIDS crisis bad years between about 1981 and 1995, or myself living with HIV and all its trimmings, like an absurd Thanksgiving dinner, for now 30 years, this year, we can get the next best thing until it's time to put this COVID-19 mishigas, like so many things gay men have had to endure in my lifetime alone, things like sodomy laws, lack of marriage equality, bar raids, bashings, murders, burn in hell signs, fag jokes, Republicans, opportunistic infections, sex negativity, legal discrimination, and put that far, far behind us. Just like all those other things that went into the dustbin of history, COVID-19 is expected to do somewhat similar. It won't necessarily go away, certainly not completely and certainly not soon enough, but it will not always be like it is now. Brian Yorkey, who wrote the book and lyrics for Next to Normal, put it like this in his penultimate song, Maybe, in a verse sung by the daughter character, Nicole. Nicole says, "I don't need a life that's normal. That's way too far away. But something next to normal would be okay. Yeah, something next to normal. That's the thing I'd like to try. Close enough to normal to get by." If you need help translating your life from the way it was in the distant past, like say early March, into the new temporary normal, please feel free to reach out. My associates and I at Gay Therapy LA are here to help, and you never have to leave the comfort of your own home. So you can call or text 310-339-5778 or email ken@gaytherapyla.com, or fill out the pop-up box on gaytherapyla.com that pops up whether you like it or not. I know it's kind of annoying. You just have to X out of it and move on to the blog section or the services section, whatever you want to do on the website. It's all there at gaytherapyla.com, and that's where you can get more information on what I do and what my associates do and what we can do to help you individually beyond the collective discussions that we have here. So hang in there. Think about what life for you can be next to normal as you go about your day and your week, and I'll see you next time.